I am delighted to join you today on this first graduation ceremony of the National Defense University, Kenya. This is a highly remarkable milestone for the entire community gathered here, for our nation, and for our regions across our borders and beyond. It has taken tremendous effort and commitment on the part of family, students, faculty, university management, and council, as well as the Kenya Defense Forces and our entire education sectors, including government sponsors of studies and responsible organizations. To that extent, therefore, this is an important occasion of great pride and tremendous sense of accomplishment for all gathered here to celebrate this great success. This accomplishment is a manifestation of the values and principles of the National Defense University, and principally of the fact that they share in the belief that sound education, quality training, and robust skill development are the pillars of a strong and secure nation. This understanding applies to every sector. For a long time, the popular image of security or defense was a sector that was not only deficient in education, but had no time for ideas and certainly averse to higher education. Today, the National Defense University Kenya has not only proven such a profile inaccurate, it is also demonstrating that our national defense sector are leaders in scholarship, research, training, and innovation. In order for our defense forces to effectively discharge their constitutional mandate of defending our nation, contributing to regional and global peace and security, and guarantee sustainable development, our warriors must always be the best thinkers and philosophers in their fields of academic interest. The national, regional, and international defense landscape over time has evolved significantly and is now properly understood to be firmly intertwined with every other dimension of sustainable development. This understanding then demands a strong command of relevant knowledge and analytical skills and a consistent capacity to continuously define, refine, and redefine our strategic vision to take into account and effectively engage with the emergence of novel, complex, dynamic, and disruptive developments in the operating environment on a constant basis. Further, the definition and understanding of security has expanded far beyond its traditional scope to encompass greater understanding of the citizen needs, citizen interests, and environment. This paradigm, therefore, recognizes the well-being and safety of people, which is the essential obligation of all states, extend beyond the defense of territorial borders and the protection from violence, and embrace the protection of basic freedoms and fundamental rights in order to make sure that no threat infringes their dignity and well-being. We are therefore called upon to understand proactive interventions in furtherance of a stronger and broader conception of defense and security, which entails the facilitation of the people's rights to food and nutrition, health care, water, education and shelter, as well as general social and economic security. We know that extreme poverty and stark inequality creates fertile grounds for the recruitment of embittered and frustrated young people into various forms of lawlessness, and that poor access to education keeps people engaged in outdated and repugnant practices that amount to serious crime. In the same vein, ill health and malnutrition destroy people's productivity and diminish their earnings, continuing their descent into poverty and vulnerability to exploitation and crime. Addressing economic disparities, therefore, addressing environmental threats, human health, are all direct and indirect endeavors to enhance security in its totality. Thus, it is true that the bottom-up economic transformation agenda is about initiating and driving rapid economic change, and also about the radical enhancement of human security from a holistic, sustainable standpoint. In any event, the security challenges of our time have evolved significantly from traditional threats to cybersecurity challenges and space-based conflict scenarios, from the multiple security-related adverse impacts of climate change and environmental degradation to pandemics and biological weapons, and from subversive forms of negative economic competition to threats inherent in unsustainable economic disparities. The purpose of institutions like this is to investigate the nature and cause of these threats, how they are affected by various economic, geopolitical, environmental, and even cultural factors, both singly and in combination, and the implications for defense and security strategy. That is a lot of work requiring considerable capacity to pursue theoretical and practical, sound, evidence-based, data-driven, curious, and innovative strategic scholarly inquiry. A defense university of this stature is therefore not a vanity project or a white elephant. It is a very fundamental requirement for the proper grounding of national defense and security policy in order to guarantee stability, security, well-being, and prosperity. The constitutional mandate of our defense forces has therefore been perfected and properly positioned as the bastion of the foundational requirements and necessary conditions for the enhancement of our national economic power. In other words, the connection between national defense and the everyday life of citizens is not just direct, it is also very clear. The bottom-up economic transformation agenda is a radical program to uplift Kenyans in their millions into shared prosperity, rests on 5 pillars. Each one of these pillars is directly connected to a security imperative. Agriculture to food security, healthcare to the weaponization of biological assets, digital superhighway and creative economy to cybersecurity, and the various scenarios related to uncontrolled evolution of artificial intelligence, as well as the more traditional security requirements of housing, micro, small, and medium enterprises, in terms of sabotage and similar threats. The linkage, therefore, between our plan and the security agenda is therefore not imaginary or speculative. Rather, it is real, clear, direct, and robust. The National Defense University Kenya is therefore well positioned to play a fundamental role in our national transformation by contributing to the development of a formidable critical mass of well-grounded personnel, strategists, leaders, and policymakers, as well as researchers, creators, and innovators who will imagine effective ways of thriving in a constantly transforming security and development paradigm. In particular, this institution provides us with an opportunity to deepen a national culture of addressing our challenges and solving problems with well-developed and sustainable homegrown solutions, which align with the practical demands of our local context to deliver high-quality responses and interventions. This event eloquently testifies to the fact that the National Defense Kenya University has come of age and taken up its rightful position in the higher education and training, scholarship, and research ecosystem of our country by occupying a niche which reinforces the role of the defense sector as a public service good and enriches our development strategy by developing special dimensions of security and development. I recognize with tremendous delight the presence of our friends from various countries throughout the world among the graduates assembled here in person and virtually. And I trust that your experience at the National Defense University College has enhanced your professional capacity and commitment to make a contribution to a peaceful world. It is clear that the National Defense College Kenya is a world-class institution that has already earned the respect of important stakeholders in the national defense sectors throughout the world. This is the scope of the vision that you must continue to embrace: global, diverse, inclusive, innovative, dynamic, and committed to excellence and integrity. In consideration of the broad scope of the emerging security mandate and appreciating the complex and dynamic nature of contemporary security environment, I encourage the university to significantly increase its capacity of world-class research and innovation in order to develop effective solutions to current and emerging security challenges, especially those with a transnational dimension. I have said on previous occasions that research and innovation are the cornerstones of progressive research because by this means we acquire the tools to tackle difficult problems, the means of taking informed decisions, and access the opportunity to turn the tide of development in our favor. There is no better foundation on which to establish our defense and security policy and strategy than research and innovation, because in so doing, we stay ahead of our competition, threats, and challenges at all times. I am confident that through research undertaken in this university, the ideas developed in its lecture halls and the innovations incubated here, our country's ability to adapt to an increasingly complicated present and future, and resilience to novel adversities will enable us keep development safe and secure for our collective shared prosperity. We are proud of our graduates. I was informed earlier by the Vice Chancellor that the assignment that I gave when I was here to research on what is going on in the North Rift, the security situation in the North Rift, I am told that some students are writing their theses on those subjects, and I'm looking forward to what they will say about our security. I am keenly following. Before I conclude my remarks, I will give you additional assignments. As I said at the beginning, the foremost purpose of this event is to celebrate your achievements as graduates, which you have made through commitment, discipline, and dedication to the cause of knowledge and truth. I applaud your success and hasten to remind you that now even greater responsibility rests on your shoulders to consider your nation's security as a fundamental imperative for our collective transformative progress. I therefore challenge you to embrace your role as leaders and commanders with a strong sense of purpose, vision, curiosity, inspiration, and most importantly, patriotism. Allow knowledge to lead the way and let innovation and research inform your steps. You will go very far, I promise you. Whether you are in the field, at a command center, in the rooms where policy is made, or in lecture theaters, always feed curiosity through debate, reinforce innovation with challenging questions, and disrupt productively in order to stay at the cutting edge in a rapidly sharpening world. Most importantly, be courageous enough to embrace emerging approaches and new technologies like artificial intelligence, robotics, quantum computing, and innovation in cybersecurity strategies in order to protect national interests and critical infrastructures. Deploy data and analytics to anticipate threats and develop effective and efficient solutions for the challenges of our time. Remain alert to opportunities to collaborate across disciplines and enrich your decisions with input from experts in diverse fields. This is how you build and sustain capacity to prevail in the face of complex challenges. Always know that a good idea must give way to a better idea. Don't hold on to a good idea when there is a better idea. I also hope that you will treasure and grow friendships that have germinated in the course of your studies here. Our nations are friends, and these friendships are important for us today and tomorrow. Always do your part to promote the national interest and never hesitate to make your contribution to development. I wish you good luck, great success, God's blessings as you go forth to serve. To the university, I have two assignments for you. We still have serious threats of terrorism, radical extremism, radicalization that continuously put pressure on the security of regions and nations. Lamu is a case in point. Northern Kenya is a case in point. Mr. Vice Chancellor, I think these are areas. If we can get some students to do their thesis, either master's thesis or PhD thesis in these fields, it will help us inform our national strategy as we tackle these security challenges. Assignment number 2, we are rolling out a robust digital infrastructure, complete with technology across Kenya. Every ward will have an ICT hub. 1,450 wards across Kenya. We are rolling out huge digital infrastructure. 13,000 government services are already online. By the end of this year, every government service will be online. Cybersecurity will be a central requirement for us to efficiently and effectively use technology as an enabler for the delivery of government services, enabler of commerce, and to drive our creative economy and the whole space around artificial intelligence and new technologies going into the future. Students out of this great university need to dig deep into finding ahead of time the challenges that can come our way and begin to design how we will tackle these challenges. I say this because we are spending a lot of resources in the development of our human capital through education. I made a commitment to the people of Kenya that we will leave no child behind. It is the reason why we have provided resources to make sure that children in our vulnerable areas who would otherwise not go to school because there is no food, that this year the government of Kenya is going to provide resources to make sure that 4 million of our kids, when they go to school, they have a meal. Additionally, we have provided resources this year to hire additional teachers because many schools in rural areas where the children of the not so endowed go have inadequate teachers. It is the reason why we enhanced the budget for basic education this year by an extra 24 billion to make sure that we have hired an additional 56,000 teachers to make sure that every child who goes to school has a teacher to teach them. It is also the reason why we are expanding our TVETs. Again, this year, we have provided an additional 8 billion Kenya shillings to hire an additional 1,300 tutors in our TVETs and to enhance the capitation, loans, and other facilities for our TVET students. And it is the reason why, again, this year, we have enhanced the budget for our higher education by an extra 46 billion to facilitate our universities to train the highest cadre of our human capital. Collectively, this year, we have added to the Ministry of Education an extra 78 billion from last year's budget because we know the value of education, because we believe education is the greatest equalizer, and we believe that no child should be left behind. As we celebrate this first class, I share with you in the privilege of presiding over the first graduation ceremony in this great university. I look forward to working with all of you in your fields as you go into your various areas of assignment. It is my prayer that you will step forward knowing that you are doing this not just for yourself, but for your country and for God. Thank you very much. My very best wishes. God bless you.